The narration in this video was created using AI speech synthesis. When you think of portfolio optimization, what comes to mind? For most people, the phrase conjures up images of intimidating math, complex Greek symbols, and financial theories that feel disconnected from the real world. For decades, the standard tool for building an investment portfolio was the Markowitz model. It is mathematically brilliant, but it functions like this collapsing house of cards. It's hypersensitive. A tiny change to the data causes the entire structure to fail. Here is how that sensitivity plays out in a real-world scenario. Let's say you have a hunch that one specific stock will rise by just 1%. If you feed that belief into the old model, the math might recommend dumping your entire life savings into that single stock. Real-world investors need balanced, rational portfolios to safely manage their wealth. This mathematical flaw made traditional optimization practically unusable for professional managers who couldn't risk their clients' futures on a single, volatile guess. In the early 1990s, while working at Goldman Sachs, Fisher Black and Robert Litterman developed a solution to this fragility. Their landmark 1992 paper, Global Portfolio Optimization, introduced a way to stabilize these models by looking at the problem from a different angle. Their philosophy was grounded in common sense. Rather than building a portfolio from absolute scratch, start with the average wisdom of the entire market. You assume the crowd is generally right, and you only deviate from that baseline when you have a strong personal intuition. This approach uses a smart scale to blend the market's default path with the investor's unique intuition. By starting with a balanced foundation, the model keeps the portfolio from swinging into dangerous extremes. At first glance, the Black-Litterman formula looks like a wall of terrifying math. But we can watch that equation shatter like glass and reform into something simpler, a balanced scale. This formula is just a recipe for a weighted average. Let's focus on the left side of our scale, represented by the symbol pi. Pi represents market wisdom, technically known as the implied equilibrium return. It's a safe default baseline. It assumes that the current market value of every company, how much they are worth in the stock market right now, reflects their true value. Establishing this baseline prevents wild guesses from ruining the portfolio. It ensures the math stays anchored to reality, unless there is a very good reason to move. Now we move to the right side of the scale, represented by the symbol Q. This is where you add your personal insight. Q represents your specific views. For example, if you believe Apple will outperform Ford by 2% this year, that specific belief is your Q. To connect that opinion to the actual stocks, we use the symbol P, or the link matrix. This is the bridge that tells the computer exactly which assets your view is talking about. The link matrix translates a human hunch into a mathematical target. It assigns a +1 to your predicted winner, like Apple, and a -1 to the assets you think will underperform. The most important part of this system is the fulcrum at the very center, the symbol omega. Omega represents your confidence. It is a measure of how certain you are that your personal views will actually come true. If you are 100% confident, the scale tips heavily toward your personal views. But if you are uncertain, the scale slides back toward the safety of the market baseline. By requiring investors to quantify their own doubt, the model guards against the overconfidence that caused older models to make irrational, all-in bets. The final result is what's called a Bayesian weighted average. A Bayesian average is a statistical method where we start with an initial belief, the market baseline, and then update it as new evidence or data comes in. In this pie chart of the final portfolio, notice that nothing is all in. Instead of snapping to a single stock, the slices gently expand and contract by a few degrees to reflect your confidence-adjusted views. This compromise creates a stable investment compass for the real world. Earlier models broke under the weight of a single opinion. This approach remains steady by balancing personal intuition with the collective wisdom of the market. There is a deeper lesson hidden in this math. Don't rely entirely on a single extreme opinion. Success comes from balancing your own insights with the collective knowledge of the crowd. To learn more about the mechanics of the model, you can find the foundational research listed here on the screen. Thanks for watching.